Good morning, everyone. My name is Marilyn O'Leary. I'm a practitioner here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, and I welcome all of you. This is just a reminder, if you have any devices that are going to make noise during this service, would you please turn them to off or silence them? Thank you. And for those of you who are online with us this morning, welcome. And if anyone online has a problem hearing, and sometimes it's just your TV, it's just your computer too, you can click on the closed captioning on the bottom, and you can get the captioning as we go along. It's really very useful to have. All right, and we will begin this morning with a song by our wonderful musician Gene Corbin.
Gene who? This morning was a tribute to all those things that can go wrong within a short period of time after you roll out of bed. And now, after gathering in the circle this morning with the folks and seeing you all here, I'm better. Stuff can't keep me down. All right, and if you feel like singing, oh, please sing. Most of you know this one. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you so much, Gene. That did. You did. All right. Good. Yeah. Funny. I have some muscle memory of that from the 1970s, but and clearly it's been around a while because the youth section had parts to throw into it there in the middle. So it's been around in some some camps or somewhere.
I've heard so many versions of it too.
Yes.
You guys won.
Yes, you all sound great today. So welcome to Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Thanks for joining us online, being a part of who we are. Every single one of us is important. So we're glad that you're here. Together, we're here to transform our world through the power of love. So just hold on to that for a moment. So we want to thank everybody that's made this morning possible. And, I could try to list them all, but I don't know them all because there's people doing stuff that I don't even know. But we do have some technical folks back here. We have some technical folks we've been consulting with on the phone. We have we have some folks that have done some beautiful decorations in the hall and some great opportunities for things back there. And we have our greeters and we have our bookstore folks. So thank you all so much. We wouldn't make it without each and every one. And we also have our licensed spiritual practitioners with us doing some special things. I know that we have Carmela Herrera and Greg Gardner holding vigil. I might have missed one. There might be someone else online, and I honestly don't have it right here, so I'm not sure. We have Carol Helms with us. No. Yes. Praying. You're praying, right? Okay. Carol Helms is here for another job, and all of a sudden I realized maybe I had it confused. Carol Helms will be leading us in prayer, and Marilyn O'Leary, you've already met, and she's going to be bringing us our our vision and mission statement and a potential reading today. So, without further ado, I invite Carol.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. What beautiful faces. Look what happened to us. I've been gone for a few weeks, and we're all still just glowingly beautiful. So nice to see you all. Breathe with me for just a few minutes here. Let the very Spirit of God flow through your breath. Breathe deeply, feel it. Feel it as it surrounds the crown of your head, as it circles your heart, as it runs down your arms, down your legs, down your spine, to the soles of your feet, back to the top of your head. That is Spirit living you. I don't live me. Spirit lives me. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this Sunday morning. Thank you for this special time to come in and get centered, be calm, let Spirit emerge, evolve, expand, and express in, as, for, and through each of us, all of us, as us, as we hear the words spoken here, as we hear the music sung here, as we feel the heartbeats in the room. And with that, I say thank you, God. Anchor it with, and so it is.
And so it is we come together anchored in the teachings of New Thought, Ancient Wisdom, and Science of Mind. And I just want to anchor that today once we've had that moment to be in prayer and to hold. Just want to remind us that basically there's 4 things I can say which will help us know what the story is here. We believe that there is only one God. How many? Okay. And known by what? Many names, right? We believe that our thought is creative, which means that we need to keep an eye on what we're thinking. And I just saw something yesterday about the idea that a thought and the feeling behind it is really the key. So we got to watch what we're really putting our energy into. But we don't beat ourselves up when we realize that we've been putting our energy in the wrong place. We just let it go and move on and create a new thought. We believe that everything in our life is an act of love or a call for love. No exceptions. It's all love, one way or another. And we just open ourselves to that. And finally, each of us is whole, perfect, and complete. There's nothing we need to fix, nothing we need to change. Plenty of opportunities to open ourselves to what's possible, but we have it all right where we are. And so that is a gift, truly a gift. And so with that, I just, again, thank you for being with us, honor you for being here. We always want to welcome everyone. And so anyone that's with us online, anyone who's here, we welcome you. And if you're with us for the second or third time, we know that you've been brave enough to show back up. Thank you so much for coming. Some of us have been here a whole many times. I haven't even been here that many times, actually. I'm way behind a lot of folks. But what I'd like to do is just invite us to kind of bless each other and bless everyone right now. So if you're here for the first time or the second or third time, just especially take this in. We're going to outstretch our hands, and we're going to look at one another and say, I see you. We know who you really are. You are a unique emanation of the One. We love you and appreciate you. And we thank Spirit for your presence. Welcome to Rio Grande.
So please join me in our vision and our mission. Vision, transforming our world with the power of love in action, and our mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. I love those. You know, they're very, those few words have a lot of meaning in them. And we read them all the time, but it's important to really pay attention to them. I have a special reading for today that comes right from the Science of Mind magazine for this month. If you guys know about this, if you don't know about it, please acquaint yourself with this magazine. It comes out every month. I get it every month in the mail, and it comes right to my house. It's really wonderful. Pardon me? In the bookstore. And you can get it in the bookstore if you don't have it. Exactly. Exactly. So this is from an article that's in there from Reverend Emile Gavreau, and I believe he's in Florida. But this is what I want to read. What if you lived in a world that worked for you? What if everyone you knew lived in a world that worked for them? What if we lived in a world that worked for everyone? As we contemplate the beginning of the new year, why not consider a new consciousness for yourself? Know that all your needs are met and the universe is conspiring for the highest good of all. What if we look back to notice when we were in synchronicity with spirit and when we were not? When we are out of sync, we are either in the place of the victim or the place of, I can do this by myself. But when things are flowing and growing, we are allowing spirit to do the work, and we are setting the mental equivalent by allowing spirit to define our highest and best good. The limits are removed from spirit. As Ernest Holmes said, spirit can only do for us what we allow spirit to do through us. So that reminded me of surrender. We surrender to the good, which is wonderful. So we are now going to have another song, some special music by Gene Corbin, to be followed by our talk by our minister, Reverend Kamatara.
Have to be careful now because the Rev caught me lying about that last song. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, No more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Up, up, up to a higher place. Yeah, man. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place.
Good morning. That was a fantastic song, Jean. We're so glad you're here. Oh my goodness, value added. Jean is amazing. And all the beautiful people here. This is like old home week. I am seeing some faces I have not seen in a long time. So I just want to start by saying welcome home. Very grateful to see you all. And oh my goodness, the 5th Sunday in January? How is that possible? Where did January go? What? Just pooh, gone. And this month, the topic has been root and reboot, which is a fantastic way to start the year, to get grounded, anchored in the divine and what we know to be true, and to know that all is well, regardless of seeming appearance, and to work on principle. And to know that that principle here is good, loving, and infinite. And just like Marilyn read to us, which was, again, divine right order, to know that the universe is conspiring for our best and highest good. I actually have that written on my sheet, Marilyn. And then she wound up reading it, and I was like, well, there it is. Okay. And so the next step on our journey as we root and reboot is, if we are solid in this knowing, we are anchored in this knowing, then could we just have fun with it? Could we just surrender into that knowing and give it a whirl and see what happens here? That would be the next level of what we could do here, to surrender into life. And I know that maybe we've had glimmers of surrender when we are, I'll say when I am in the flow and things turn out way better than anything I could have engineered or facility manipulated. That's my new favorite word that I made up. And so because I know at times I try to out God, which was also in that reading that Marilyn just read. So I was kind of laughing on the inside there. So yes, when I'm trying to, if it doesn't fit, force it. And if it breaks, you needed a new one anyway. Some people live that way. No bueno, right? So when I relax into the surrender and things are more synchronous, and then I look back on it and I think, oh, but of course that was the thing, or the way it should go, or this person, or, insert phrase here. Yeah, of course. So I've seen glimmers. And certainly this is the I don't know, for a lot of people, this might just be the perfect talk to look at surrender. Ministers and practitioners will tell you that when someone comes to you in prayer, like in our beautiful prayer garden over there, and they ask for a prayer, it's typically exactly what I need prayer for. And whatever the topic is that I'm handed, guess what I am going to experience that week? Ole! So it was an interesting week where surrender was definitely the order of the day. And this talk also is going to be a little bit of a legacy talk, because part of what came forth for me to share with you is actually going to be from our founding minister, Reverend Martha Quintana. And I know some of you know her really well and you have long history with her, and some of you have never had the pleasure of meeting her. So I'm excited to share some of her wisdom related to surrender, because she is a wonderful mentor to me still. So I would like to start today with a Nasruddin story. Have you ever heard of Nasruddin? Oh my goodness, he's so much fun. In the Sufi tradition, so Sufi is the mystical branch of Islam, there is a character named Nasruddin, and he's a fool that teaches wise stories. Like it's wisdom being taught through the fool. It's a classic literary conceit. Y si hablas español es muy similar a Juan Bobo. So the Spanish speakers were like, oh, yeah, I know who Juan Bobo is. Same thing. Although es un poquito más profundo. It's a little more profound. So Nasruddin, here we go. Nasruddin is sitting on the side of the road, and he's crying his eyes out and just wailing for anyone who will hear him. He's holding this bag, and he's like, oh, my life is so miserable, and I'm so poor, and everything I own is in this one bag, and my life is so terrible. And lo and behold, there is someone who's listening to him, kind of pats him on the shoulder, and Nasruddin looks up for comfort. And then this person who's patting his shoulder says, oh, okay, and grabs the bag and starts running down the street. And Nasruddin is like, what? You are kidding me. Could my life get any worse? So he stands up, gets his sour bones up, and he's hobbling down the street to try to chase this thief. And, up over the hill and around the corner, he's hobbling, and finally he sees his bag. And it's in the middle of the street, and the thief is gone. And so he walks up to the bag, and he's like, could it be? And he opens up the bag, and sure enough, everything is still in the bag. And he falls down onto the side of the street, and he's crying, wailing tears of joy, like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person on earth. Everything I own is in this bag, and it's back to me. My life is so good. All right. Funny story, very cute. The story begins and ends exactly the same. Nothing's changed. And yet everything changed. So what is it that changed? Yeah, there's a lot of people pointing right at their heads right now. It's the story that he's telling about it. It's not the bag, it's to what he's clinging to about the bag. That's what can create his suffering or his joy. So we're going to pull out our metaphysical workbench here and get really practical, because I'm a practical kind of girl. I love practical mysticism. So right now in your own life, could you think of a little bag you might be holding onto right now? It could be, let's say, a difficult person. You don't have any of those in your life, I'm sure, but maybe there's one. Or maybe there's a difficult situation. Or is there something about yourself that you want to work on? Is there a particular story you're telling that you might want to work on? I don't know. Pick one thing that we want to work with today. Okay. And then we're going to really look at today, what is it that I'm holding on to here? What's in this bag that I'm holding on to? What am I attached to here? What am I making this mean? What is my BS about this bag? And of course, BS means belief system. So I don't know what you guys are thinking, but what is it about this belief system, about this bag? Because here's the equation. Limiting beliefs equals suffering. Direct correlation. In fact, here's another equation. Suffering is the sum difference between expectation and reality. So how do we step out of suffering? Well, here's a new slogan, and it's not just do it. Okay, the new slogan is just give up. I was going to call my talk title that, but then I thought you might not come. So we're going to talk about how the heck do you just give up? Because the solution to suffering is surrender. And it's not resignation. It's not defeat. It's not just rolling over and dying. It's none of that. That's the victim-y kind. We want the spiritual warrior kind, the mystical kind of surrender, which is radical, which is in the realm of radical acceptance, allowance of what is, and seeing the moment or the person or yourself as the divine would see it and know it. Could we just free fall into the arms of the divine and trust that the universe is conspiring for our best and highest good all the time? Winner, winner, chicken dinner, every time. Every time, no matter what it is. Could we allow ourselves to bank on principle and truth so then our mind could catch up and begin to shape itself around the law and the love of this divine reality? That's what we say we believe. But the practice can sometimes be a little different. But here's the awesome power of this. When we give up, then we can unplug from our conditioning and we can tap into our consciousness. The consciousness. The wisdom of the divine, the infinite possibilities. But I definitely get it. Easier said than done to shift from suffering to surrender. And when people do say, oh, just let go and let God, sometimes I really just do want to bop them in the nose because it's frustrating. It's like, what does that mean? What is that in reality? I just let go and let God. And I've said that even. I have, yes. But what does that mean, nuts and bolts, in the lived reality? So this is where I'm going to pull out 4 pretty provocative statements that our dear Reverend Martha Quintana used to say. And boy, these 4 little zingers used to make me a little metaphysical puddle. She'd get me every time when I had my knickers in a twist, and she'd be like, Kamatara, what about an yes, ma'am. So maybe these 4 little statements could help us at least to begin to release our death grip of control and limiting beliefs. So you've got the thing you're working on, right? Your little bag, you've got it? Okay, because here we go. Here's the first idea to consider about the little bag that you're holding on to. Could you give up what you think it should look like? Oh, we're already having consternation. All right, so this is a good topic for today. Could you give up what you think it should look like? Why must it look like that? Is there more than one way it could look? Does it really matter? That one's a zinger. I used to say that to my own children when they'd be getting upset and be like, does it really matter? And then later when I was getting upset, they'd be like, Mom, does it really matter? And be like, oh, true story. Okay, so just take a moment to think about, this person, the situation, yourself, the thing that you're working on, and how might it be different if you could give up what you think it should look like. How would it feel different if you could give up what you think it should look like? Okay, a second idea to consider about the bag you're holding on to. Could you give up what you think it means? Oh, we love meanings and stories. We are story-making machines. And we know from our friends at A Course in Miracles that things only have the meaning that we give it. Again, does it have to mean that? Could it mean something else? Okay, here's a big one. What if it really meant nothing at all? Woo, yes, that was absolutely worth the turtle. Thank you so much. That was really funny. And if you have a story that's looping, like my fabulous brain does, it's got freaking flyer miles on certain stories. So if I'm looping in a story, then I'm going to go a little further and whip out the Byron Katie, if you've ever read her book, Love What Is. Oh, not for the faint of heart. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to get serious with that book. So here's the question for you. If you're looping in the story, What do I stand to gain by telling this story? That's an interesting one to take to prayer. All right, so let's think about this one more time. The bag that you're holding on to, that you're working on right now, how might it be different if you could give up what you think it means? How might it feel different if you could give up what you think it means? All right, a third idea for you to consider about this bag that you're holding on to. Could you give up what you think you know? Have you ever been certain about something? That's usually when the rug gets pulled out from under me right there. Yoink! Oh, I guess I don't know that. And that's a hard one for me because as a former school teacher, I was trained to know. It was my job to know. And you need to know what I know or you don't pass, you know? Woo! So society loves experts. Experts are important and good. I appreciate experts. But I also know that those who are curious and open to learning and seeing other perspectives tend to learn more and have more fun and suffer way less. So with all due grace and humility, could I enter into any situation, conversation, moment, whether it's with myself or others, just knowing that it's a tip of an iceberg? I cannot possibly know what this other beautiful person is going through or what they went through to get here or what it took for them to even say the word. I don't know. I literally don't know. And isn't that the key to wisdom? Knowing that we don't know. And when you know that you don't know, then you can know anything. It's infinite. It's right. Isn't that the amazing paradox? And y'all know I love paradoxes. They make me excited. So it's so beautiful to know that we don't know. So let's think about this again. The thing that you're working on right now. How might it be different if you could give up what you think you know about this thing? How might it feel different if you could surrender into the unknowing? How could it be different to have a beginner's mind about it? What bounty could come forth if you could give up what you think you know? And a fourth idea, as if that weren't enough, but wait, there's more. A fourth idea about the bag. Could you consider? Okay, could you give up who you think you are? Especially in this context of the thing that you're working on. Oh yeah, there's some intestinal discomfort at that one. Whoo, could you give up who you think you are? Our society loves roles and labels and job descriptions and all the things. Oh, death grip on that. When people say, oh, it's nice to meet you. Who are you? What do you do? All the roles. And like that's our only value, our only identity. Here's the news flash. The only role any one of us ever has is to be a divine being of light. Done. Mic drop. Out. Divine being of light. That's your job title, your description. Okay, glad we cleared that up. But in this context, do you have any rules or who I think I am in this moment? So I should, and then you start doing the math in your head and making these crazy equations. Whew, okay. So how might this that you're working on, how might it be different if you could give up who you think you are? How would it feel different if you could surrender those roles and shoulds and whatnots? Because as we loosen the death grip on the bag, we allow it to open up. And from this place, where you've released the limiting beliefs about what you think it should look like and what you think it means and what you think you know and who you think you are, put all that aside. And now look how much openness you have, how much more power you have. It's not diluted. It's not obscured. It's just like raw. It's pure. It's all right there. You unleash the true freedom and the unlimited possibilities that are right there if we could but see them. Then you can be open-handed and open-minded and open-sighted and open-hearted. That is an entirely different posture from which to experience this thing called life. We can hold the mantle of life ever so gently. There's no death grip needed. No death grip needed. And here's some amazing side effects. When we are unattached to outcomes and stories and shoulds and roles and labels and all the things, when we're unattached, then nothing vexes us. And better yet, the richness of the person, the event of myself is immediately apparent. There's nothing blocking my vision of that or my experience of that. I am in the moment, fully experiencing all that is the divine expressing right here and now. And then we get to experience peace. The peace that goes beyond understanding, beyond anything I could have engineered. Because I'm open to the divine that is in that moment. And it cannot be constrained by any silly old bag that I'm holding. I just am with the I am. And that's the ultimate root and reboot right there. To surrender to the one loving source and trusting the process that it's all unfolding in divine right order. And that's not to say we can't work towards having something. There's goals, there's desires, there's preferences. Of course, there's wants. There's some things in life we'd love to have. We can hold people accountable for when things get, messed up, or we can demand justice when something is wrong. Absolutely. But could we find a little more balance about it? Could we live into those interesting paradoxes of, I expect the best and highest good, yet I'm unattached to outcomes? Oh, that's a fun one to play with. Try that one on for a week. It's wild, wild, wild. Or could we live into the juxtaposition of being human and divine, mundane and sacred, finite and infinite? Because at that intersection, there is no suffering. There is no attachment. There's just freedom to fully experience the only relationship there is. The only thing that's going on, the only thing that's in the bag at all, in this bag, is the divine. That's it. So the challenge here this week, should you choose to accept it, is to really consider, are you the drawstring on the bag? Are you clenched tight and tying up the whole thing? What would loosen you up here? And can you shift from the suffering to surrender? What story would you like to tell about this? So that way you could change your tears from anguish to joy. Because it's up to you what kind of tears you'll have. And the amount of grace with which you have the experience or interact with the person or deal with yourself and learn the lesson. We can surrender to life that wishes to express through us. And to make space for this kind of grace, the best thing you can do is to lean into the unknowing and truly just give up. All right, let's take it to prayer. Whew. In this moment, I surrender into the knowing. I lean into the divine and know that there is one loving source, the all that is, this thing that I choose to call God, that is expressing in all of life as we know it and even beyond what we could understand, each person, each place, each thing, each time, each experience, all of it, the sunshine and the clouds, the snow and the rain and the wind and the tumbleweeds, all of it, all of it, all of it, just as much as the sunny afternoon and the birds twittering, all of it is the divine expressing, just waiting to be known. And each person who crosses my path is the divine waiting to be known. And I am the divine waiting to be known, because I am that which thou art, and thou art that which I am. And anchored in this divine knowing, I claim for each person within the sound of my voice that each one of us is safe and supported in the universe to be that full expression of the divine as only each one of us can be. That each one of us is here by divine appointment to do a divine mission, and the universe is conspiring for our best and highest good to accomplish that mission, whatever it needs to look like in this moment. And so I claim a gentle, very gentle, nothing catastrophic or crazy, just gentle spirit, a gentle opening for each person as things lay down easily and effortlessly. And there's this beautiful grace that fills our hearts and our minds to be with that moment and allow spirit to have its way for the best of all folks involved. And I know that each one of us is deepening and growing into trusting the divine, trusting the process, trusting ourselves, because spirit is expressing as us. We can trust ourselves and surrender it all, because God is on the job and God is not confused. This is all systems go, and it's going well. So with huge gratitude, the way life is stacked in our favor, knowing that we are divinely guided, blessed, and supported, I let it go and let it be, knowing all is well. And so it is. Amen.
So, what's in my mind in the moment is how truly blessed we are. Do we have a mic now? How truly blessed we are to have the staff that we have here and the loving givingness of Reverend Kamatara. And I am jealous that she's funnier than me, but I'm going to get over it, I promise. I'm going to surrender to it. So let's just take this moment to be in that space of gratitude and to think about how we can offer our time and our talent and our treasure. And we're going to do right now, we're going to offer our treasure. If you're online, there's multiple ways. They'll show up on the screen. If you're here, you can use those as well. And we also have the baskets up front to invite you to come and bring your gifts forward. And there is a little thing that we're going to say. Are you going to put up the slide? The man with the slide is holding back there. Here it is. Okay. So see, in the midst of abundance, sometimes it shows up not quite when we expect. So let us just anchor this prayer together. I am abundant. I give from my abundance. I am prosperous and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed and I give my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars. And so I give and receive generously. And so it is. And Jean is going to bless us with some music. So thank you, Jean.
You reminded me of a theme that kicked into my life out of the blue when I was listening to you, and thank you very much, by the way, Rev. Um, it was a term that I heard when I was in my 20s, which was back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Um, Active receptivity. This I got from a woman who was training to be psychiatrist, psychologist. She was in school, but fourth year. She had the most wonderful approach to helping other people. She was just marvelous. But we were talking about learning from other people and from other places and from yourself inside even. You can't do it when you're talking, even internally. You have to actively set yourself up to receive. And I have never forgotten those words together, active receptivity. You prepare yourself, then you receive. And that sounded like what you were talking. It clarified a lot of things about that for me. So thank you. The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. And no one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Now you say it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew. But there's no other way, and now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. And freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? La da la da la da la da la da la da la da. La da la da la da la da la da la da la da.
Thank you, Jean, so much. That was perfect. So let us just take a moment and acknowledge all of the gifts that we receive, all of the gifts that we're able to give. And so right now, we take a moment and bless what's here. We bless what is coming. We bless what we have already received this week. We give thanks for all of it. And we know that this is a representation and a way in which we create circulation, a way in which we can allow RGCSL to reach into the community in the ways that it desires and the way that we desire, the way that we can partner together and make it happen. So I give thanks. I bless each and every one. I bless the gifts and the hearts and the love. And saying, so it is. Well, we have been on a journey the last few weeks of partnership. And it's very exciting. And a lot of things are happening. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to have Carol come talk first. And then I'm going to update you on all that's going on. Carol has a special message. We have talked about our talent. We've talked about our time. And today we're focused on treasure. All of those are necessary in order for us to be in cohesive community. And Carol's going to share about treasure. Thank you, Carol.
Well, I am a treasure. And so is each and every one of you. Each and every one of us, our very being is a treasure to the entire universe. And it's always been there. We just didn't know it before we popped out of the womb. Then we didn't know anything for a few years, right? And then we learned habits. We learned from post-depression parents who said, hang on to everything you got, don't let it go. All right? And so we kind of come with a little baggage. But when we get to where we know the wisdom of the ages through the lens of science of mind, we have everything. We are everything. I am that God is that I am. And it's an exciting, exciting adventure. And so when I go in my mind, I think, oh, I bet, I better not take anything out of that bag. I might need it. Guess what? I might need it right now because it could be the glory of my life, the glory of the treasure that is me. And so this is what I've gotten from RGCSL. And I love to give back to this community. When I first came here, I was wide open to what you had to say because it was not traditional, you will fry in hell religion. And my mind was open to every word somebody said, every song, every practice I saw going on. And what I know after a few years now is that's a two-way street. Not only does all the treasure come in, now it also flows out of me. It flows out of each one of you. I see it in your actions. I see it in your generosity. I just see it sometimes in the spirit of you. That's what we do. We kind of glow to each other. We probably notice each other on the street. Just because we have a different outlook on life, it is the light. It is that light that shines in you. It is that light that shines in me. So I made a commitment. The first year I thought, no, I don't want to. I don't know if I want to pledge money. I'm not sure about that yet. So I would give what I wanted to every week or something in the basket. And then that grew into a commitment because I want the doors of RGCSL to always be open. To always be open. This is where I found the ability not to necessarily open the bag yet, but to think about it. And now, life's saying, you're getting kind of older, girl. You ought to let go of some of this stuff, right? Yeah. And at first it's like, huh? No, mine. And then it's like, no, yours that you entrusted me with this life. And so what is there not that I cannot give, that I would not give back to that which created me? And that's what I've gotten from RGCSL. Could I have done that without giving any money? Sure. But our doors might not be open, not because of my money, but we give to that which feeds us. And this place feeds me. This place feeds me when I have hard days at work, when I lose a spouse, when I lose a mom. This place feeds me. You nourish me. And if I can't give that back to you, shame on me. I need to open up and let the gifts that are in me pour back out to you. That's the treasure. We don't have to find money in the closet or sell a car or anything. We give of our time, talent, and the treasure that each of us are. And not only, everything we give and everything we do, it was planned for us. We are all integral and, imperative and responsible for all that has been gifted to us. So our responsibility is not to hoard, but to share, to create room for more to pour in. What an awesome concept. Thank you for letting me share my experience, my faith not just in this center and spirit by any name. Lately it's become beloved goddess. We walk together daily, as most of you know. But we're also responsible. We're responsible for making sure that the truth that is every being, we don't even have to talk about it. It just shows up in us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you. For those of you who may or may not know, Carol has shared her gifts in multiple ways. She's just leaving her stint on the Board of Trustees. Yep. She was part of the, oh my gosh, it went out of my head. The search committee. It's part of the search committee, which worked tirelessly to find me, of course. See how much treasure they brought? It's wonderful. So, and in thanking you, Carol, I want to point out that I am grateful to everyone who has chosen to step into that place of partnership. We talked about partnership. I want to just share with you a note here of what an RGCSL partner is. An RGCSL partner is committed to support the RGCSL community with talent, time, and treasure while taking personal responsibility for our common vision, transforming our world through the power of love in action. And what I heard in what Carol said was that there is a level of responsibility that we take for how does this message keep being shared? How does the blessing that I've received bless someone else? And so in celebration of that, and we're going to today again have opportunity to have you look at the system and sign up today to be a partner. And the great thing is what you don't know is I've seen people have paragraphs written in there about what turns them on, what makes them excited, what the areas are they want to serve in. And I'm so excited about what's coming forward in that. And just to bring you up to date, currently, it looks like we have about 23 partners, which is a third of the way of our goal. It looks like now in the other room there's a couple of boards with talents on them. You'll see there's a whole ton of talents written, and we're inviting you to continue writing those. I have calculated that we have, and I can tell by how they're written and who they're written by, that this is not totally accurate. There is more. But we have written down from the surveys 2,000 approximately hours of giving. You know what that is? That's a full-time position. That's somebody here every week, 8 hours a day. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of willingness to put in. And we have pledged in dollars and cents around $75,000 right now, which again is about 3/4 of the way to where we want. Oh, no, excuse me, a quarter of the way. Actually, 37%. Okay, more than a quarter, a third of the way to our goal. So we have 2 weeks left. So we're inviting you to check things out. We may be touching base with some of you if you hadn't had a chance or if you haven't been around, etc. But we are really excited about that. And As an update, last week we handed out a few certificates, and this is just a token to thank you and to remind you that you are a partner. Where am I? And I don't see him. So we're going to invite these folks forward to receive their partnership certificate. Michael Hacker? I thought he was here. Okay. Okay, well, Michael is not here. Michael, this is for you. Marilyn and John Kirk. Yeah, come on up. You don't have to come all the way up on stage. There you go. And would you do me a favor? No, hand that to Greg. Hand that to Greg. She's holding another certificate for Greg Gardner, who's holding vigil right there. So she's going to take that over to him. Yay! Marilyn O'Leary, who's already been up on stage today, is an official partner. Thank you so much. And of course, Carol. Now, as you might note, these are quality pieces of paper suitable for framing. Acid-free, I'm sure. Archival quality, that's right. So thank you, and we're so excited to have you take the time to go through the little survey basically, and invites us to commit. And I'm so happy that so many people are willing to do that. We have we have found ourselves in a spot that's a little bit tight at the moment. And so we really appreciate anybody that's in the moment ready to give an extra little bit. It would be really helpful for what's going on. Also today in the hall, we have a bunch of we have decorations and bags, etc., to create for. Oh, there's one there. There's a bag right there. All right, Nandy's going to say a couple words about the bag.
Okay. Valentine's is coming up, but we're always in love. So we've bought white bags for everybody where they can decorate it and put in notes to themselves or to others within the congregation of what I love about you, what I appreciate you, what treasures do I see in you. I think we can take all 4 of your 4 statements, slip those in here so we can see our progress along the way. So today's about decorating, and we'll figure out how we're setting them up in the hallway.
So be sure to put your name on your bag so that people can find you. And that will give you something to do while you're waiting around to get on a computer and check out the partnership program. So see how perfect that is? Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For those of you who didn't know, it is official boot day, apparently. I didn't get the memo either. So I want to also just invite all of us, please take advantage of the prayer garden over here. After service, there will be practitioners available to pray and to hold you in the mostest of love. And I think we are going to have shortly a benediction, a closing song predicated by Dr. Norm.
Good morning. Wow, what a bunch of faces here. That's great. We're just growing. Kamatara, I just love your messages. Wouldn't you say she bagged it today? Oh. Awesome. Gene, good to see you back.
Good to see you all.
Okay, just a couple of short announcements here. There is a spiritual discussion group that's going to be, let's see, it's going to be headed up, facilitated by Alicia Hanlon, practitioner emeritus. It's part of this Taos study group. So if you're interested in the Taos study group, They're going to be talking about the way of grace, science, mind, philosophy, and all that. It's in the newsletter. And this group meets Fridays exclusively on Zoom from 11 to 12:30 Mountain Time. And so that's in the newsletter. By the way, if you haven't gotten the newsletter, if you just scroll all the way down on the website, it'll say sign up for newsletter or something like that. So be sure you check that newsletter out. Super. Compassion Ministries Corner by Susan Solar. She always has something. Where is she? There she is. She always has a good message, a good resource of information. And today it's the 3 gates of right speech. Have you ever wondered, man, should I say that? Or maybe I said something I shouldn't have said. Oh, I said it again. So there are 3 gates of right speech so that you can check this out before it leaves your mouth. And there's 3 things. Are these words true? Are they necessary? And are they kind? So think about those 3 gates before you say something to somebody or something. Okay, real quickly here, the recurring events are showing up here. Creative Expression and Writing Group, 2nd and 4th Sundays at 11:30 right here. A Course of Miracles, Nancy Bowers, and she says no prior experience necessary. Thursday, Zoom and in person, 6 to 7:30, and right here also. Food Addicts in Recovery Anonymous, Saturdays from 8:30 to 10 right here at the center, in person and on Zoom. And don't forget, in the back here in the community room, we have all kinds of coffee and probably some food. So check that out before you leave today. And that's all for me, live from New Mexico, Sunday morning announcements.
Thank you, Gene. I always feel like Paul Revere's horse, you know. Am I on? Good. Okay. All right. That was it? Oh, I did. Oh, sorry. What is your name? No. It has been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? I know. It does. Thank you for blessing my day. Thank you for blessing each other. If nothing else happens good today, I've had the most perfect day of my life. And for that, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for being here. I'm so grateful that the doors of RGCSL are open. I'm so grateful that you have taught us each how to open our arms, our souls, our minds, our hearts to the good, to the treasure that you intended each of us to be. And I know as we leave here today, we'll accept that responsibility to take care of the treasure, use it wisely, spread it through the world beautifully, just by showing up as the light and the love of that which created each of us, all of us as us. So we go forth from here, a walking, living smile, a beacon of hope. I wonder if my life could ever be like that. Absolutely. No one's left out. Only if they just don't trust it. And I think we're the trustworthy ones, God. When I walk every day with you, I realize it's not during the walk. You're with me 24/7, 365. On demand spirituality. And for that, I'm grateful. So let's go from here. Spread our good news. That is the only good news. Anchor this with me by saying, and so it is.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I'll watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Well done.